Nothing more punk rock than picking up your animal's shit.
Yeah.
shoveling out stalls.
People will be like, oh, dude, play the old school Papa Roach. And I'm like, hold on. Like, what old school era do you mean of Papa Roach?
So what does that make us?
That sucks.
Me still being here is a full circle moment for sure.
Tell us about the farm. Like, how's it going? Because we didn't see each other for 3 years.
Yeah.
So any new things on the farm? Because you always do there something. Like you
Always moving. I mean, you know, it's all the animals are all good. Everybody's good. It's just fun. It's like, honestly, it's the polar opposite of tour. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I said this last time, but it's like the beauty of it is we spend so much time on the road, and it's always constantly moving. It's very hard to find peace and tranquility, and it's you know, it's pretty nutty out on the road, and so it's like it's the counterweight to this lifestyle is it's so peaceful and zen, and kind of grounds me, which I like.
I've never met a guy who's the owner of a farm. You're the only one. Like, you know, the guy's doing like 20 years, you know, punk in a punk band, you know, then doing the songs with Avril Lavigne, and then he comes back to the farm.
Nothing more punk rock than picking up your animal's shit.
Yeah.
shoveling out stalls.
But like, I didn't know, or last time I don't remember probably. It's some kind of the goats that you have there, right? They are like some kind of a midget goats, right?
They're little guys. They're just little guys. Yeah, they're called Nigerian dwarf goats. Yeah.
So it's dwarves.
Yeah, they're just little baby guys. They're very sweet. They're, you know, before I got goats, I had no idea like how much personality they had. I mean, you see a lot of videos on the internet, of course, but it's just like once you bring them into your life, it's a game changer. Everyone should have goats. I like dogs, cats, great, but get some goats too.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you would have like 3 places, like gold, silver, and bronze, where would be the cats and the dogs?
Oh man, dogs number 1 always. Then I'm going goats and then cats. No disrespect, I do love cats, but for me, that's the order.
What a great music interview, you know, talking about dwarf goats. Yeah. But you know, I love any like dwarf animals. Like if it's a munchkin, you know, the cat with the short legs.
Oh yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
I mean, you know, they are not that mobile in life, right? That, you know, they could be a prey in the days back in the days.
I don't think, to be fair, back in the days, I don't think they existed because they've been like, humanity always has to fuck good things up. Let's just make these cats genetically tiny and awkward, and but they're so cute.
Yeah,
they're so cute.
And now you can tell me, what do you think about like where's music going? Because we didn't
enough about goats and farms.
No, but there's, you know, you guys are in the genre that's basically, how to say it, like the genre is steady, right? Like, can you be a little more like creative in it, or because, you know, the idea of the punk is the riffs, you know, the chord progressions. You have a pretty narrow way, right?
It's tricky, man. We've talked about this a lot. Like being in the sort of genre that we're in, there is a lot of pigeonholing, and there's a lot of like, you can do this, you can't do this, you can do this, not allowed to do that. And so, but we've been lucky, I think, over the years. Like our fan base has given us a pretty wide lane to work in, and we've tried a lot of different things, and some has worked, some has not. But like, I think the beautiful thing for our band now is that we've been doing it for so long, and we know what we love, and we know kind of what the identity of our band is, that we have a really big sandbox to play in. So if we want to go and make a song that feels out of left center, we get away with it, and our fans usually give us a little bit of room to play. We don't get too much criticism when we try something new, which is nice. And everyone else can fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you just got to do it.
Always go back to the farm and just, you know, live on your savings, you know.
Right.
Peaceful life, right? So what were the highlights? Because we didn't see each other for 3 years. So what would you consider as the biggest highlights in your musical life?
We've had a lot. You know, I think that the cool thing about All Time Low is that we've been a band for a long time, and we've never like blew up. Like we were never the band that was just overnight massive.
It's all-time
been
low.
Yeah, it's been kind of a slow growth, and so like I think there's always been a next goal to hit. There's always been a new thing to get to. So I can think of a lot, like back in the day, the first time, when we were just looking up to all the bands that we were sort of coming up behind, and Fall Out Boy took us out, and that felt like a big accomplishment. And then, then we start playing shows that are that big, and that was a big accomplishment. Going and playing arenas, that was a big accomplishment. So there's been a lot, I think. Big one for me was, this is years ago now, but when we were opening up for Green Day at Emirates Stadium in London, and like, being a British kid myself, it was like, that was pretty special.
You're British.
I am. I don't sound
What's
it.
up with the accent?
I know. I've lived in America long enough that I've fully
It's American.
converted. Yeah, I was
Cowboy.
I was so young when I moved to America that I was like, I didn't want to stick out. I was like, I gotta figure this out and assimilate.
Are you happy you did move?
No, wait, move, yes, but assimilate my accent, no. I like, as an adult, I wish I still had my British accent.
Maybe if you haven't moved, you would end up like in 1975.
Ooh,
You would be wearing tuxedo.
that's true. It could have been completely different. Instead of meeting these bozos, I might have run into Maddie Healy, and we could have started the band together. Maddie, if you're listening, call me.
Yeah, well, I get the feeling that, I had it when we saw each other for the first time, but it's nice, not to be on either extreme. Like if you guys would be like extremely big, we probably wouldn't even have this conversation.
Oh, that'd be
'Cause
sad.
they do it, like the big, like the
People tell you no?
yeah. Some of the headliners, they really don't even like consider any interviews or whatever. No conversation, which
a shame.
I understand it, in a way.
Sure.
But sometimes there are bigger crowds on smaller bands, so-called smaller bands. I saw it like in Coachella with I don't remember Chapel Rowan. Remember this girl?
Yeah, of
When
course.
she was new, she played some, and it wasn't a Coachella. It was something else. But there were these big headliners, and when she started to play, the crowd, the venue couldn't even accommodate her.
Right.
She was playing in the smaller venue.
That's the sick thing about music is that you can, because Chapel was doing it for a very long time. She was in the business for years
And you
before
see, yeah.
before she took off, and lots of small gigs really earned her stripes, and then the next thing you know, she's bigger than anyone can imagine. So shout out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you took off as well. 20 years. I mean, what,
Yeah,
what
man.
else you want, right?
I think the beauty of it is like we've really come to a place where you see success not in how big you are, but sort of in the staying power. And I think we've really I think legacy is everything at this point. It's kind of you take the wins in the fact it's like it doesn't have to be the biggest shows or the smallest shows or whatever. It's just someone still pays attention, someone's still there, and people care. And we've been fortunate enough to do this for over 20 years now, and that's where I see the win.
Yeah, there's nothing to prove anymore to yourself, right?
Nah, we're loving it. We're just having fun. Happy to be here.
Alex from All Time Low, thank you, man. It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure to see you
Good
again.
to see you again, man.
You're relaxed as always.
Can't wait to hang tonight. Come see the show.
Yeah. I mean, I used to have one of these, but I still tend to like have the socks in because I'm not used to wearing shoes without socks. So did you have to like try, or you just put them on and it was okay? Or...
I'm a dirty bastard. Yeah. Smelled his other shoes yesterday. Jesus Christ.
Does the barefoot shoes smell more than the normal ones, or they shouldn't?
Yeah, they do.
They do. Because we were sitting with the Papa Roach, they all had Dr. Martens, Martens. I was like, okay, so these guys are ready for the bad weather. But guys, you basically came back to the show 3 years ago after a long pause. So tell us like what each of you have been doing during the pause. I mean, there's some acting here. Proper one, but what were you doing like when you had this little musical pause?
Sound like the movie Demolition Man.
You can take it, Mike.
Okay, it's kind of like that movie Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. We've actually all been frozen for the past 14 years. They only brought us back. I think it was an accident, actually. I think the power went out and they had to unfreeze us or we'd all die. We also wanted to eat Taco Bell, yeah.
Which is,
Well, we never really stopped.
I know.
We just didn't put out new music. Yeah, that was the big thing.
So we didn't get invited to play things like this because there was no new music.
You know, the theme that we had today, even with other bands, is that sometimes, you know, the headliners, of course, they are headliners, they're there, but sometimes, you know, the other bands make much more, like, you know, dynamic shows, and people are way more excited for these bands, you know, especially for you guys, 'cause you, like, haven't been on these stages for...
We're playing at 11 p.m. after the headliner. So what does that make us?
That sucks. That sucks. Oh, but on the other hand, you know, I mean, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody anymore, right? Because you like made your point in becoming legendary in a way, right?
I don't think we would have come back and put out new music if we didn't think we still had something to prove, even if it's just proving it to ourselves. You know what I mean? I don't think we're out here, you know, making music for everybody else this time. We made this because we felt it was time, and we were excited, and you know, because of it, we got to, you know, come to a place like this that we've never been before. So that's exciting.
I mean, you know, I think that nowadays there's this big two themes of like retro. A lot of people like retro, whatever, if it's cars, old motorcycles, old bands, right? Old music versus the new.
You looked at me very emphatically when you said old.
Really? We could say vintage, you know.
Touche.
So, you know, is there anything like from nowadays music, the modern one? What do you like to listen to right now? What artists that are new do you enjoy? I like the punk bands, you know, and you guys as well, you know. So
Talking about like the vintageness of it, because we just heard Breaking Benjamin, and in a couple days we're playing a festival with Guns N' Roses, the same festival we played 20 years ago with Guns N' Roses. So yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, vintage is now, you know.
with Papa Roach, you know, because they somehow said, yeah. And we were talking with them, and they said that they have like vintage cars, you know, and I like vintage motorcycles, so that's why I just asked, like, if you guys are into this, you know, since you are a band that has a history, not old, but has a history, and maybe you can just, you know, it's few.
The most like famous Czech band.
It's really hard to tell because there's a lot, you know, even though we are a small country. There is one, and they're called Sunshine, if I'm not mistaken. And these guys, they were like in California. It was really like a proper Czech band. But you know what's crazy? That they are not big in Czech Republic. Like, they're not that famous, right? But you know, other guys, they didn't make it to US. I mean, it's hard, you know, right now it's really hard, even for Czech artists, not even bands, you know, like individuals. It's really hard to get popular, even in Europe. And I don't know why, you know, because most of the projects from Germany are very, very interesting and like worldwide, as well as Scandinavia. If you take Aurora, York,
Ironic that most of the records are pressed here.
in Loděnice, in Loděnice, it's actually a city very close to Prague, which I'm from and my friends are from, and it's the mecca
Yeah.
of LPs, you know. And you know what's crazy? There was some statistics that like only 40% of people who buys records on LPs, the vinyls, they don't even have the player at home.
I've heard that. It's crazy.
So that's a vintage thing as well, right? Yeah, it is. So let me play you something. You can say, you know, the girls, they told me that you can like rate it or tell if you like it or not. What do you think? So.
Just like modern pop music from here.
This is Pam Rabbit. She's, by the way, invited to a Bloodfest by Youngblood, you know. She's the only one that he picked, basically. And I think it's because of music. You know, like... I would hope so.
That'd be crazy.
In a promotional claim with your album Transit of Venus was stated, some things will never happen again in your lifetime. And now you're sitting here. It's really interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put it. Yeah, we're pretty lucky that we're able to do this. You know, we're having a really good time doing it. I think the fans are really enjoying having both of us up there. So, yeah, it's been really good, and the tours have been amazing so far. So, yeah, we're pretty lucky.
Do you like that album? Because you left the band after that.
Did I like that album? I did like that album. Yeah, I did leave the band shortly after that album, but it didn't have to have much to do with that album or anything like that. It was more than my state of mind at the time, you know. But yeah, no, Transit of Venus. There's a lot of good songs on that album. Yeah, I was actually just listening to that album the other day, just checking it out, and thinking that we should do Time That Remains again, maybe. Well, at the time we were starting to do a lot more co-writing with people outside of the band, so I think that was, you know, for me that was something I wasn't used to, and I was, you know, I didn't necessarily enjoy that process back then. I think I was a little bit more, I don't know, I just, you know, a little bit more sacred about what we were writing. So yeah, it was a little different back then. But things have changed quite a bit in that regard. You know, I enjoy writing with other people and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just the way it was at the time.
Matt, you mentioned that this is a full circle moment in some interview, and do you believe in this kind of things?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I grew up watching these guys in the basement jamming in my house. So, like, you could say, like, I was the first 3 Days Grace fan. I saw them before anybody did. I watched them play on hay wagons, then bars, and then arenas. So I watched the whole thing. And without 3 Days Grace, I wouldn't have pursued a music career myself. So, yeah, this is having Adam back and me still being here is a full circle moment for sure.
In 2011, you had a bus accident with your band. Can you remember about this day, both of you?
Actually, I was opening, my old band, My Darkest Days, was opening for 3 Days Grace on that tour. And yeah, we were in mountains, and then it was really snowy. I think we had our guitar tech driving the bus. And I actually think he fell asleep, and then we went in the ditch. And yeah, I just remember getting flung out of my bunk into another bunk. And luckily I wasn't hurt. Our drummer suffered a little injury. Yeah, our merch guy got thrown out of the top bunk onto a railing, and it was pretty crazy. It was crazy, but we all survived, and we're all okay. Yeah.
Many years you were singing songs that were written by Adam, and when was the moment when you started to feel like this is also my songs?
You know, like I was always around for the music. I grew up obviously listening to them, and you know, it felt pretty natural from the get-go. Yeah, it was crazy times, but you know, everything happens for a reason, and I believe that happened for a reason, and now we're here.
And do you feel like the guy who saved the band?
That's, you know, that's tough, man. I don't feel like I saved anybody. I just felt like I did what I needed to do at the time, and yeah, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and like there's so many things that just happened, and you know, I like wouldn't be the same person if it didn't. So I'm very thankful it did, but you know, it's never been better, man. Like this is I think the best 3 Days Grace we've ever had. So it's pretty cool to be here.
Last year, I was here sitting with the Linkin Park and talking to them, and I was looking for your YouTube music video, Kill Me Fast, and one comment, and that said, we lost Chester, but we got Adam back. And what are your feelings about this quote?
Well, yeah, that's interesting to hear that. It's kind of, I didn't die, so, you know, but yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know. I'm a Linkin Park fan. I always have been, and yeah, any like conversation with myself or us with them is it's pretty amazing to hear that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah.
How much is the band identity tied to its singer? Because it's very difficult to replace a singer, you know, in a band.
Yeah, I mean, in our situation, I think we got this band got really lucky that Matt was willing to do it. I feel like if it were anybody else, it probably wouldn't. We probably wouldn't be here doing this now. Just because we all grew up in the same town, we all kind of knew each other before, and we were friends before the band ever took off. So we have that foundation as a band, and not a lot of bands have that, you know. So yeah, the fact that Matt came in, and I think if it was anybody else, it probably doesn't end up the same way, you know. But yeah. So yeah, like I said before, we've been really fortunate and just very kind of lucky that everything kind of worked and works the way it does, you know.
We can see also a band Halloween that they did it 10 years ago. And when I was a teenager, I was looking on your documentary Behind the Pain. Can you look this documentary after that years of struggle, or what are your emotions about this documentary?
Yeah, that was definitely a pretty heavy, kind of weird time in my life. So I haven't really watched that documentary back. I did see it back then, and it's hard because the whole battle with addiction is it's like an up and down thing. It's always sort of a battle. You know what I mean? So after that time, I started using again, and then so it's tough. It is kind of tough to look at that, just knowing that. I was good for a minute and then not so good, you know what I mean? But it's also kind of cool that it's documented, like there's a pretty heavy part of my life that's kind of there, you know? And I think 1X, our album, was really based around that whole period for me. So, yeah, like Matt said, everything kind of happens for a reason, including that stuff, you know, the good and the bad.
So after the 20 years, you still feel then it's better to feel the pain than than nothing at all?
Absolutely, yeah. For me, it's, when it comes to that sort of thing, yeah, it's, I've been clean and sober now for about 9 years almost, so yeah, I'd rather feel pain than be numb to everything going on around me, for sure.
Yesterday you released your new music video, Don't Wanna Go Home Tonight, in your hometown, Norwood, and we can see a sign. This is a home of 3 Days Grace. And was that planned, or you like some patriots of that town, or how do you feel?
There was a guy, one of our friends in town, basically made that happen. We had always been kind of joking about that, like it would be cool if they had like a welcome to Norwood or whatever, home of 3 Days Grace. We always thought that'd be cool, and yeah, it just so happened to kind of line up with when we were shooting the video, so we decided to do it and get it in the video, because it is a pretty special moment for sure. We still drive through that town when we're home, like pretty much daily, some of us. So yeah, it's cool to see it.
Yeah, I still live there, so I see it every day. It's on each corner of the town, and yeah, it's pretty special driving past it every day. It's pretty cool.
So for many years you were headlining festivals like Metal Fest, Masters of Rock, and most like symphonic metal oriented festivals. And now you are headlining Rock for People, which is much multi-diverse festival. And do you feel like now it's your time to fit in here?
I think we always have like this more accessible side to ourselves as well. We have the metal, we have the rock, but we also have the catchy songs, and I think that will fit here as well. So yeah, I think we blend in much on many festivals.
Okay, and looking at the lineup, do you feel close to bands like Bring Me the Horizon, Papa Roach, or maybe Electric Callboy, more than those traditional female-fronted bands, if I may say? from gothic metal, your Mother Earth era?
I think that we've evolved so much that I think we're closer to Papa Roach and those kind of bands, meaning musically, I mean. And so it's a mixture of so many things, of metal and rock, and the accessible sound of catchy lyrics and sounds that we have. So I think, there's many bands that I love that are going to play here today. I'm so happy to play on this date, actually, because my favorite band is playing, Nothing But Thieves. I'm going to be fangirling backstage.
Your fangirl moment. I know that about you. I know that you are a fan of Nothing But Thieves, about the frontman's voice.
Yeah.
And speaking of, you mentioned Papa Roach.
Yeah.
Is it true that the collaboration for The Reckoning was born at the backstage of some festival?
On Gaspop, yes. Many years ago, they were next to our dressing room, and I was like, I've known the band forever, music-wise, and I was like, I'm just gonna say hi, they're neighbors, and hey, hello, and we're very, very friendly, and I talked just to Jacoby actually at the time, and we got into a personal conversation about of arts and stuff like that, and that he was also drawing a lot of stuff himself, and I said I did that also for many years actually for myself, and I've always liked that, and so we had a connection, and when we had written The Reckoning, we felt like, okay, who can we ask for collaboration? I was like I would love to sing with Jacoby, because he has this really powerful and crunchy voice also, and he's just such a nice guy to team up with. Yeah, perfect match.
Okay, and I know that you are working on a new album.
Yeah.
We don't know the title yet, but we know it will be a totally different story. Can you tell me more about the new music?
Well, what we want, especially with this album, we want it to sound human, and it's going to be more raw than we did before, and we're going to use scales that we have never done before. So, in the spectrum of music, we're on the complete other side than we've ever been, and it's going to be sounding more raw, but yeah, still very much an invitation, because it's very. A lot of melancholy, darkness, all those kind of things will be there, but in a different spectrum of, if you would start a band now, people would never put us in the categories that we've done before, actually. But it's going to be still with invitation, because I think there's still things that are typically with invitation, if it's the melancholy and the darkness that we have, but it's more raw, I think. And I think we don't want to use any AI at all. We're stepping away from the videos that we did before. I think that was a mistake, especially where we see that AI is heading, where there's still no laws of, to contain what we are allowed to do also, because it's taking its own life. Meaning like it's taking a very heavy direction that we never thought it would go that far or so fast. But we were, of course, curious in the beginning, and so this album, visually or any way other, there's, we would never do that, where a lot of bands do at the moment, because it makes working easier, and I understand that, but on the other hand, it terrifies me as well.
Because I was a little bit afraid of, maybe scared, it will be more like an electronic dance music or techno music, that kind of a turn.
More raw, yeah.
Okay. More screaming, more yelling, and more growling, maybe, please.
Sorry?
More growling, more screaming.
Not screaming, but it's gonna be like how we recorded the album also, or are recording it at the moment, is like with small mistakes. We want to take one-takers, and we don't want to fix things to make it perfect. I think the perfect feeling is in the imperfection that we are as humans, and that's how we want to record the album, with more rawness and more, more authentically what we are. We're not perfect, and small mistakes are sometimes really beautiful.
Is there something you would like to change in the past, like some decisions you make through the years?
For ourselves. In those 30 years, would I change anything? You learn from your mistakes, and things will never be perfect. If you don't make that mistake, you'll probably make another mistake. So looking back on it, yeah, we did make mistakes in the past, but that's how you learn, I think. And I think to embrace your mistakes, and it's part of life. And I really enjoyed the ride of the 30 years that we had with Invitation. I'm very thankful and very, well, happy to see that so many fans stayed and been throughout all these years and all these changes still with us. That's the best you can get. That's the best compliment. So I'm actually pretty happy and content, to be honest.
Yeah, it's part of like human life and human evolution,
Yeah, exactly.
evolution of the bands. Yeah. And the thing I like about Invitation, it's your fan base, because we can see families in the first row. We can see gothic girls in the first row.
Yeah, it's many generations and many different scenes among our fans, and that's something that I find beautiful as well. And everybody feels happy or part of the with Invitation fan base, and that's something that I think it's very accessible.
And since you have so dedicated fan base, do you receive any kind of gifts? Do you keep them?
Yeah, I do keep them. Mostly I give it to my mom, and then she has like one room. There's all these books with photos of fans and letters that people wrote and gifts I got. So I'm really happy that she really sorts it out. And sometimes we take a picture if it's too big, or then we have to. But most of things we keep, and it's just nice to go into that room sometimes and just read stuff. And for my kids as well, to see the road that we have taken with the band and the fans that crossed our paths with personal stories. And it's a beautiful.
And where do you store these things? Like at your mother's house, or?
Yeah, they're all in my mom's house mostly. Some things I keep in my own house. But I got so many throughout the years, and sometimes, it's so personal. You don't throw it away either. So yeah.
Okay, and maybe my last question is about the set list, because you have so many songs, so many different albums, recordings. Is it hard to put on a set list for a different show, or you just play the same song every festival?
Well, we have like a basic set list of like 35 songs, and we play mostly like 14, 15 songs, more or less, depends on how long the set list needs to be. So we can rotate a little bit with it. And playing on a festival like this is going to be a little bit more different than maybe playing on Rock am Ring. So you do a little bit more accessible songs sometimes, because people really don't know you, or people want to hear the hits that they do know. But still, you want to present, of course, who you are today. So it's going to be a mixture again, but then maybe with some more recognizable songs for people who don't know you that much. It's like, oh, actually, I know that song.
So hi from the Dr. Martens team, I see. These are the only shoes that you can basically. Well, not the only one. Yeah, we can put.
Yes, these are the great festival shoes.
Yeah.
Perfect festival shoes.
So this was a little commercial intro. So guys, you're coming back to Rock for People after 3 years, and we were talking with All Time Low about like when sometimes you are a little low key. You basically, during the time, can get pretty big, and that was your thing here on Rock for People, because some of these like headliners and stuff like that, you basically totally rocked the festival. Like everybody was really, all the guys were writing that this was the best show. Really, yeah.
3-4 days? Dude, that's sick. That's great news.
That's awesome.
It really is, man. Especially we've been around so many years, and to be able to have a performance like that and to connect with the fans in a major way, like, so grateful. And honestly, we've been back to check a couple times since, and we've seen more people turning up at the shows, and it's great. So tonight's gonna be friggin' awesome.
Did they at least give you a better spot than the last time?
I don't know. Did they?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, we already took.
Yes. Yeah, yes, they did.
They did.
Yeah, we're headlining the second stage. Yeah, they did. Duh. I don't know. I'm not. Sometimes I don't pay attention. Yes, they did.
It was the same thing like with Chapel Rowan. We talked about her already with another guys. You know that she was the one like who came to a festival, Bonnaroo, I think it was, and she was like the third row artist. You know, and then the crowd was so huge that basically all the headliners were like, okay, so kind of.
Dude, now there's pressure. You're putting the pressure on. We better put on a good show tonight.
Well, is there anything like some highlights that happened since Croatia with Europe too, like since the last year?
Oh man, we released a new song called "See You in Hell." We did a collaboration with Netflix for a show called Devil May Cry, the season 2. So we're playing that live tonight, and just been working on new music and just playing a bunch of shows and ripping heads, man, slaying shows.
With the Devil May Cry, by the way, an awesome video game. Are you guys gamers? Or you don't spend any time?
You know what, dude? I just felt, dude, golf. I just got into golf yesterday, Tony.
I love it.
You'd be proud of me, dude. I was just like,
I thought you play like golf on the PS5 or whatever. You know.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Video game, bro. I'm like,
So this is where you just.
Real life and Xbox.
No way.
nobody wants to golf in real life.
And what about this like?
I'm just kidding.
You have to start somewhere. I mean, it's okay, you know. So that's like a mini golf, right? Or is it the big golf?
No, this is real big time golf, dude. Jack Nicklaus, dude.
So you can become Tiger Woods for a while and ruin the place.
I'm like the Tiger Woods of video game golf, bro.
That's fine. What about these like AAA games? Shooting stuff and not like that? Or Devil May Cry itself?
Like Battlefield. I've played, and I know, yeah, it's kind of cool because it's like old wartime, but also what is it? Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh,
First person,
dude.
like
Tony Hawk Pro
Yeah, yeah,
Skater
yeah.
2, dude. You know, SSX Tricky, dude. Snowboarding game back in the day. You know, Mega Man, Pac-Man, Atari. That's like where I was like, I love Mega Man back in the day. The new games are very, the graphics are so amazing, so incredible. But I'm not much of a gamer. Jerry, our guitar player, big gamer. Tony does a bit gaming, but when you want to golf, you want to play some golf on a video game, dude. Whoop that ass.
I totally see. What is your favorite? Yeah. But by the way, Mega Man has some kind of a new, like revised version. So you should check it out then.
I'm gonna tell you, the new Mega Man sucks compared to the old school Mega Man, dude. I keep it old school. It's probably
No, but this is the thing, you know, that the new stuff coming out right now, like even music-wise, we could be here for a long time, right? Talking about this.
Yes, I mean, new stuff sometimes is great, old stuff sometimes is great, you know? It's like depends on when you fall in love with say, for instance, like a band, right? People will be like, oh, dude, play the old school Papa Roach. And I'm like, hold on. Like, what old school era do you mean of Papa Roach? Because we've been around for so long.
25 years, right? Since
somebody could be talking about 2010, somebody else could be talking about 2000, somebody else could be talking about 2015. You know, so it's like when you've been around for as long as we have, old school is kind of just like, well, which one?
I could tell that you are the retro guys, right? You might have like some retro motorcycles or.
Yeah, dude. I got an old school classic car. I got a '66 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Jerry's got an old school classic too. You know.
But you know, guys, what I like about you, that even though you are the hard rock band, like you know, black colors and you know, like cool dudes, you still you did this Leave a Light On, the song about mental health. That's a nice topic, you know. I mean, it's not like let's go and end this interview in like a nice way, but have you had yourself some struggles with mental health and stuff? Because this is a modern issue right now. You can have the mic.
Absolutely. You know, I've had my ups and downs, my highs and lows, and I know what the darkness is, and I also know what getting through those times is about. You know, and what it's like, and you know, I've seen life from both perspectives. Just super grateful to be where I'm at today, you know, and to be able to make music that's inspiring people, that's lifting people up, to be a light in this what could seem like a very dark world. And so, yeah, man, I think music is important to speak to people and lift people up, and you know, it's been that for me for so many years. And there's been so many other bands that I've listened to their music that's been inspiring and hopeful to me. And so, yeah, man, we want to contribute to the positivity of the world through music, you know, because there's enough negativity, enough haters, enough evil, enough darkness, enough, you know what I'm saying? It's like we want to lift the people up.
Is it really hard to be famous like you are?
Oh my God, it's so difficult. It's so hard. Somebody carries my bag to my dressing room.
Yeah, I can't even go to the grocery store and shop. I just paparazzi. No, I'm kidding.
No, I will say one of the biggest struggles, I would say, in doing this, and it's not really the fame part. It's just you're away from home a lot, you know. And so I would say that's the sacrifice, you know. Yep.
Everybody's totally like, oh, you're like the god, you know, in a way.
But that is what it is, dude. Yeah, man, it is what it is. We'll accept the cheers and the adoration, but you know, we know it's not. I know it's not all about me. You know what I'm saying?
Stay humble.
Yeah, dude. Just like Kendrick Lamar said, "Bitch, be humble."